Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Best Practices Expos, sponsored by the Parent and Family Engagement Initiative. We are excited this morning to have Northside ISD share lots of different ideas and activities with you about parent and family engagement in their district. Our presenter today, Brenda Faz Villarreal, she is going to walk you through the many programs that Northside ISD has implemented to really empower and engage their parents, not just involve families in their child's education. So we ask you guys to take lots of notes and learn all that you can and take these ideas and use them as you can do within your district to improve your parent and family engagement. So without further ado, Brenda, we are excited to have you share all your information this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew, very much for that introduction. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here with you all to share the wonderful things, some of the wonderful things happening around our school district. A little bit about myself. My name is, again, Brenda. I started in Northside a long time ago in 1992 as a student teacher. I student taught in the district, and then my principal at the time went ahead and hired me, and I said yes, and I've been here ever since. Now I coordinate the Even Start Family Literacy program. So now I'm going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about our school district. First, what is Northside? Well, we are the 4th largest in Texas and 24th in the country. So we're a very large school district. 49% economic disadvantaged, and we have about 70 language spoken. So we have a lot of children. This is a picture of our school board. What I love about our school board, they are very diverse. Here they are with our superintendent, Dr. Woods. Something that I like to brag about is these are two of our school superintendents. Our former school superintendent, Dr. John Folks, was the 2011 Superintendent of the Year chosen by TASB. And our current superintendent, Dr. Brian Woods, also received that honor in 2018. So I'm very proud of that. Some district demographics. As you can see here, we have a diverse population and again, a large school district. Our schools, we have 80 elementary schools, 36 of which are title, 20 middle, 18 high, 2 are title, which on this slide, it shows pictures of them, John Jay High School and Holmes High School. Something I want to share with you is we have magnet schools in our school district, and here is a video of 6 of our magnet schools, just a quick video to show you a little bit about them.
Northside ISD is proud to provide magnet school options for middle and high school students to excel and succeed. Students enrolled in a NISD magnet school will receive a rigorous education concentrated on specialized subjects such as agricultural science, engineering, law, medicine, communications, and cybersecurity.
If you want to STEM careers, you want to do construction management, anything like that, if you're willing to put in the work, this is the school for you.
Along with their ambitious academics, students will still have a comprehensive middle or high school experience by choosing to participate in sports, theater, band, or other extracurricular activities.
It was a transition for me to move from middle school with all my friends, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I don't regret anything. I made so many great friends here.
The benefits of magnet schools are endless. Hands-on learning experiences, internships with industry professionals, teachers who have field experience, plus career or college readiness.
Having magnet schools provides them so many opportunities to gain more knowledge in careers that they may be interested in.
Visit nisd.net/schools.
So that's a little bit about our magnet schools. The next video that's here, once you receive this PowerPoint, you can click on it, and that video is from Communication Arts High School, and it is a video that is done by students, okay, and it's talking about why you should come to their high school. So we have a lot of schools, so I'm going to show you some more about NISD. Okay, so where are we housed? We are under the Whole Child Development Department. And what we want is all children should be healthy, safe, engaged, supported, and challenged. These are the programs that make up the department. It is counseling, school-age parenting, which takes care of our pregnant and parenting teens, family engagement, health services, health education, connections, that is our McKinney-Vento grant for our homeless population, PBIS, and Even Start Family Literacy Program. Here, I have a picture of the coordinators, and I wanted to share this with you because maybe you want to do this activity with your staff. We went ahead, led by Dr. Kimberly Ridgely, our executive director. She led us in an activity. We used the book One Word by John Gordon. He's mostly known for the Energy Bus, but he is very motivating. And so he wrote this book, One Word, and it's basically you choose a word for the year, and it's something to help you inspire you. And instead of setting a resolution, you choose a word that will help you to be the best that you can be for the rest of the year. And so we went through that activity, and then our PBIS coordinator, Lori Briones, she led us through a painting activity, painting our word. And then now we have our word in our office. And so whenever we get a little bit down, we know to look at our word and say, okay, let's move on, you know, and so that's just, I just wanted to share that with you all. Okay, I'm going to start off with this quote that I love. I have it in my email signature, and I really truly try to live this as well as a professional, as well as a parent in Northside ISD. So in this complex world, it takes more than a good school to educate children. It takes more than a good home. It takes these two major educational institutions working together. And I like to add that it takes these two major educational institutions supporting each other. So now we'll come to the program that I coordinate. It's called the Even Start Family Literacy Program. And what do we do? Well, in the end, the goals are that we want children to enter school ready to learn. We want parents to know, what to teach their children to be able to reach the first goal, right? And then families, the entire family, to become self-sufficient. We want to make a sustainable change in the entire family. So we go and we look for families in Northside. Our program is funded through Title I funds. So we go and we find families in our Title I areas. And they bring their preschoolers with them to the program. And I'm going to show you the different components of the program. Now, this program can also be in the evening, and you would just have older children as well. The parents would just bring older children to the program. But ours happens to be a program during the day. So they bring their little ones. We call them their littles. We are housed at 5 elementary schools. The principals they really commit to this program because we take up to 3 classrooms on a campus, 1 for the adults and 2 for the children. I'm sorry, I apologize. 2 for the adults and 1 for the children. And so we're going to see the different components here. The first thing we do is we go and recruit. We have orientation, registration. We go and find all these families to come and be part of the program. Then we have an orientation because we're going to explain everything that they're going to go through. What I love, if you see this top picture, you see a parent talking to other parents, and this is one of our former students, and she is sharing her experience, what she went through in this program. What did she learn? What did her children learn? What is she doing now? All the positive things that have happened because of her participation in the program. So that is our best publicity, is word of mouth, but we're able to do this because of the relationships, the positive relationships that we have built with our families. And so then they go and share, right? They go and share and tell everybody, come to Even Start, come, be part of this program. And then of course we have registration. As you can see there are families filling out forms. We do have a contract because we do want them to take this program seriously. We want them to come to school all year long. And we want them to come on time, and we want them to come on a regular basis. Something that's also in their contract is that they will work on attendance, right? And coming to school on time, not just for themselves, but all their children, even elementary, middle, and high school. That's one of our goals in our district. And so we also work on that goal because our program is part of the school district, and we go ahead and we try to work really hard with our families to be able to meet the goals of the district. This is just a sample schedule of the 5 schools. And as you can see, we take up a lot of time of a family. A family gives a big time commitment to this program. But again, it's the relationships that we form right from the beginning, from the minute that we call them, from the minute that we meet them out in the neighborhood, in the community, in a school, how we speak to them, how we work with them. That's how we build that positive relationship. And then they say, yes, I will commit to this program. Okay, now we're going to class. So again, like I said, our program is during the day, so they're bringing their littles with them. And it's a wonderful transition because the program is in a school. So our little ones, they already know how to walk the halls. I'm coming to the big school. I know where the playground is. I know where the nurse's office is because I walk through these, the office, the front office. I walk by these places every day on the way for mom going to class and me going to class. The first component, what happens? Early childhood enrichment. The families arrive at the campus and they go into our early childhood classroom, which is set up with centers. It looks like a pre-K room, except ours has an infant and toddler area. And so they come just to kind of like come into the room and say, okay, let's calm down, let's get ready for the day, let's get ready for the rest of the components that we're going to experience. They go to centers, they spend quality time together, they may read books, they work with blocks, with clay, just fun activities for them to spend quiet time, with each other. And then they even share a meal together. We have a partnership with our child nutrition program, and they provide breakfast for the family, so they get to share a meal together. Then after that, the children stay in the early childhood classroom, and the adults then transition to the adult education class. Now, we used to have GED classes to prepare parents to take the GED test. And then we also had ESOL classes to teach English to parents. Well, because of funding, we no longer have the GED classes, but we still provide the English classes. So families come to learn the English language. As you remember in the other slide that I showed you, we have like over 70 languages spoken in the district. So they come, they learn English. We have a curriculum called Ventures that we use. And as you can see, they're ready. They're ready to learn the English language. Then these are some other pictures that I wanted to include. All year long, they learn English, right? They work on activities, and then the teacher says, okay, now we're going to work on a project. We're going to have a project fair. And so she divides the students up into pairs or groups, or even some students say, no, I want to present by myself. And it's like, okay. So they research a topic, whatever they want. Usually we go into the workforce area. So as you can see there, they've researched cosmetology, culinary arts. The picture in the middle and the video I'm going to show you is a group of students who researched how to open up a restaurant. Everything from where do you obtain the permit, who do we call, how are we going to, we're going to have to write the menu, what are we going to serve, what area are we going to have this restaurant, where is the best place in the city to have a restaurant. So they researched everything, the cost, everything. And so then they present to an audience. And what I just love is, like, today I'm presenting to you, and I've presented lots of times, of course, but I still get very, very nervous. And but then I look at our families and I'm like, oh my goodness, so many of these families, this is the first time that they're in front of someone presenting, and they do such a great job. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that video.
Control of cells. Number 2, control your inventory. Number 3, keep track of your costs. Number 4, control the use of cash. Number 5, take control of your debts. Thank you. Hello, good morning. My name is Nancy Valdez.
Sorry.
I'm going to talk about marketing. Control to promote the restaurant de Isla Latina. We will promote through the internet. We distribute flyers and the network.
I apologize about that. Let me start again. Okay, so here we go. So that was just our families presenting, that they were presenting. As you can see, they did a great job. And I would get nervous, I get nervous presenting. I can just imagine them, but they did an awesome job. So you may be asking, so where are the children when the families are in adult ed? Well, the children are being provided care and instruction by early childhood instructors. As you can see there, they have age-appropriate education activities to prepare them for the big school. That's what we call elementary school. When they go to pre-K and K, they're working on all sorts of activities, of course, hands-on, using their body, as you can see here. Here we have one of our librarians, because just like the rest of the children in the school have a library time to go to story time, so do our Even Start children. They're on the schedule and they go to story time with a librarian. Again, another transition activity, because they're like, oh, when I go to pre-K, I already know how to go to story time to the library. And I love this picture because he's jumping so high. He read a book and now is doing an activity with them, and the children are all trying to imitate him. Here's another picture of a librarian. And as you can see, our little babies are all, they're in their strollers. There's, because we have all ages in the room, and they're listening, and they're receiving that wonderful oral language that they need to hear. Something that they learn, of course, is routines and things that they're going to need to when they're in the big school. So here's just a little video of them walking to class in line, because that's so important in a school. So they learn all those routines. Here are some more pictures. Again, we always incorporate reading books because we want them to enjoy reading books. Everything is hands-on. Here they are. Again, hands-on activities. And I love this middle picture of our student reading to one of our babies in the crib. He has been read to so much that he knows how to do this. So he just takes a book, and he just took the book and went over to the crib and said, okay, I'm going to read to him. I think he needs me to read to him. And I just love that, because that's just something that's going to stay with him forever. Okay, so the next component is parent enrichment. This is for the adults. We bring in speakers to the families for them to speak to the families about resources inside and outside of the district, or information from inside and outside of the district. So to give you an example, the top left-hand corner, here we have a presenter. He is Mr. Perez. He's an immigration lawyer. Now, I do have to say, we ask our families first, what are some of the things that you want to hear about? What are questions that you may have? One of the hot topics is immigration, as it's ever changing. And so he speaks to them. What I love about Mr. Perez is that afterwards, he tells them, if you need to meet with me for free, I will. I'll meet with you. And he has helped a lot of our families. Right beneath that picture is Rachel Gutierrez, my early childhood specialist, and we also are trained in various curriculums. One of them is PPE, Practical Parenting Education. So she's teaching a topic from the curriculum. We also bring in the bilingual education director for the district, because that's another hot topic that the families have. They're always asking us questions about, should I do dual language? Should I do bilingual, not bilingual, English only, English and Spanish? There's just so many questions. So she comes, or now he comes, and speaks to them and answers all their questions, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, right? So we want to hear it right from the department. So that's one of the speakers that we really try to bring every year. The top right-hand corner is Miss Marisa from the pre-K department. And kinder department. That's another hot topic, because a lot of our children are transitioning into kinder and pre-K. And they also have a lot of questions, and Ms. Marisa tells them, these are the forms you're going to need. This is what you need to be doing with your children to get them ready. These are the dates. These are the dates for pre-K roundup. So a lot of good information is shared. At the bottom right-hand corner is one example of our outside presenter from Bibliotech. And that is a digital library in Bexar County. That's where we're at. And if you're part of this, you hear the presentation and then you become a part of it, they will go ahead and sign a card and they join Bibliotech. It's all free. But once they hear this presentation, they're able to use all the resources. And so they have access to free music, free newspapers, movies, everything that, books, of course, that Bibliotech offers. And not just for them, but for their entire family. So that's a great resource that we love to bring for our family. So we love parenting enrichment. Our next component is Parent and Child Together Time, which is on Fridays. And that's when we bring the families with their children, we bring them together, because right now, remember, they were separate, but now on Fridays, we bring them together. And this is where the staff, we do interactive literacy activities between the parents and the children. We always read, we always dance and sing. And as you can see here, the children are doing hands-on activities. Here they're celebrating National Family Literacy Month, which is in November. That's why every day we had an activity to celebrate the National Family Literacy. And this day was wear your pajamas, because we're gonna sit around the room, lay down, eat hot cocoa, drink hot cocoa, and read a book. And so they loved it. As you can see, happy faces. They're always doing activities that'll help them, of course, with routines, right, and following directions. This little video is an example of something they learn. They do it every day and they hear the song, so it already comes natural to them.
Ojos mirando, oídos escuchando, bocas calladas, cuerpos quietos, así como escuchamos.
So that's just an example of them. They hear the song and they're like, oh, it's time for story time. So they have to go get their cushions so they can be ready for story time. So that is our Parent and Child Together Time. Here's an example of another of us, because we love to sing and dance. We always sing and dance because it's good for the children to move around and learn songs and sing together. And so here is them. So that was just a little example of our dancing and singing that we do. Here are some more pictures of Parent and Child Together Time. We call Pack Time. The curriculum that we use in our program is called Frog Street Press at the moment, because currently this year, our district uses that curriculum in pre-K. And so we always like to, again, use what our district is using, but at our level. So Frog Street Press also has an infant and toddler and 3-year-old curriculum. So we pull a lot of our activities from there. It also has a lot of conscious discipline activities that we love. Here are some activities from the curriculum. And for example, here's an activity for Dylan to do once we read a book, once we sang and danced. Now we're going to do some hands-on activity, but we do it by ages, okay? But of course, because our children are different ages. So here's an activity that Dylan's gonna do. Here's an activity that Valerie's gonna do. And through all our activities, our children, we do stream activities all the time, and the children don't even know it. So we do science, technology, reading, engineering, math, and our children don't even know that they're doing this, and our parents sometimes don't even know, but we are, and we explain to the parents about this. So here's an example of our sink and float activity. So.
¿Qué le pasó a ese? Se hundió, se hundió. Oh, ¿se está hundiendo? Did it go down? It went down. Words to teach him is buoyant. ability to float, flotabilidad, que flota. Y puede flotar en aire o en otro líquido. And you can also float in liquid, or in air. Flotabilidad, buoyancy, en esas palabras.
So that's an activity of science, right? Right there. So here's some more pictures of parent and child together time. Can you tell I love this component? Love of reading. We always have books because we want our children to read, right? We want them to read. And right now we have a big campaign in our district called Read 21 in 21 minutes. Of course, our little ones aren't going to read 21 minutes at one sitting, but they are going to learn to love books. And we want the families to always read to our children. Something else that we use in parent and child together time is Ready Rosie videos. And so these are modeled moment videos that are designed by Ready Rosie. So Ready Rosie is a company and we use our Title I funds to pay for this. And they demonstrate, as you can see, easy activities that the families can do at home. What we love is that they are available in Spanish, and those are the ones that we use. They're available for elementary all the way up to 3rd grade, pre-K, and baby. And so they receive, once we subscribe, it's free to the families, they receive it in an email, a text, and they can view it on their phone, on their iPad, on their tablet. And so what they do is, here is a picture of the Get Moving video, and it's a Ready Rosie video. So the mom is showing the child 2 pieces of paper. One, the child chooses a paper and it says a number. Okay, so it might be 3. And then the child chooses a paper from the other stack, and it'll have an action, and it could be jump. So then they'll jump 3 times. And so once the families watch the video during pack time, then we do the video, the activity with the family. So here's an example of Griselda doing that.
Cuatro, cuatro, diga. Cuatro. Okay. Vamos a cerrar los ojos 4 veces. A ver. 1, 2, 3, 4. ¿Ya vieron? Ahora Yael les pongo otro nombre. ¿Qué número es? 2. ¿Para repetir? 2. La acción es soplar 2 veces. 1, 2, 3.
So that was an example of Ready Rosie. The next component is educational home visits. So once a month, we're going to go into the home of our families and we go visit them. But now the lesson's going to be geared towards that child's direct age. So if I'm visiting a child that's 3 years old or 2 years old, I'm going to take information, a book, a toy, an activity, a game for that child. And we're going to work on it together. And then I'm modeling for the mom or the dad, the caregiver that's there. I'm modeling, and then I'm going to leave another bag with a lot of the same items, another book, another toy. It might be a puzzle, information, and I want the caregiver to work with the bag activity, with the bag items, work with those and work with the activity with the child. And they're going to read the book, they're going to do the activity, they're going to play the game until the next month when I come visit. And so here are pictures of that. And then sometimes it's early release day, right? And we already have a home visit plan. So the older children come, as you can see in this picture, towards the middle on the right-hand side. Marisa's there, and the children came home early because it was early release, and so that's okay because the liaisons always come ready. They know the early release days, and they'll take again another bag full of materials for the older children, so nobody gets left out, because we want all children to experience these activities. So I love educational home visits. So those were the actual components. These next slides are activities that we have for the family. So for example, we have family literacy events with our families twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And it just depends on what the theme is. We choose a theme and then we have activities. So we go to what's called our Northside Activity Center. It's this huge building, and we divide the room up into centers. And so, for example, if we're having the theme, things around our community, then we may have a store, and right here in our city we have HEB, so we might have an HEB grocery. And then, as you can see in the bottom left hand corner, there's a Even Start museum, because we have lots of museums here in the city. So we'll have a museum. What I love about that museum picture is that the artwork on the walls, that is artwork of the children. The children created that artwork in their early childhood classroom, and now we use it as a museum, in the museum, and the families are walking around, and then we kind of give, you know, the families some ideas, because they're like, well, what do we do? Is it, well, walk around, and in the real museum, right, in the city, you look at the artwork and you're like, I wonder what the painter was thinking about. I wonder, what is this picture telling me? What is the drawing telling me? Or, well, I like these colors. I don't like these colors. And so we give ideas to the family so they can interact with their children, because of course we're trying to build that oral language. We also, of course, have partners here. We have Clifford, and then we always give the families books, because we want to build the home libraries. So we try, whether we look for partnerships so we can get these books into the hands of the families, and then we give them a book for each of their children. And they love that part. Now, to get the books, what they do is at the end of the event, they fill out a very simple evaluation of the event. And that helps us, because it helps us to know what we need to do again, or what we need to change, right? Or what they want, what other activities do they want us to do? Did they like the activities? Do they want different activities? Maybe they saw an activity that somebody else did at another school and they want us to do it here. We will, you know, and so the evaluation, they fill it out, it's very short. And then once they give us the evaluation, we give them their books, and they get to choose whatever book they want, So I love this event. Here are some more pictures of the family literacy event. And we always, of course, sing and dance. These two bottom pictures on the right-hand corner and the left-hand corner, I love, because these are our parents. And what they did was they learned Christmas songs. They learned English Christmas songs all year in their, well, all semester in their English class. And then they were the entertainment for the children. They came to the family event and then they performed their Christmas song. And we were the audience, the children and us staff were the audience. And as you could see, they had a great time. And the children loved seeing their parents up there perform. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to show you a video of the singing that we do at pack time. One of our favorite songs is called El Monstruo de la Laguna, the monster at the lagoon. And you could see how much fun we have in our pack time events, our family events. So there you saw how much fun we had. And you also saw another one of our partners, the Chick-fil-A cow. They were there that morning providing breakfast for the event. And then I told them, oh, we're about to sing a song. And they're like, oh, Chick-fil-A cow will join in. And she did. I think it was a girl. She did. So we had a great time and the kids loved it. So that's one of our family literacy events. And those you can have them in the evening. We've had them in the evening before, of course, then you'd have other activities for older children. So the next one that what we do is educational field trips. This is very important, I think, because a lot of our families don't ever venture out from their community, from where they live. And so this is our opportunity for us to extend the learning and give our families experiences outside and get to explore the city. one of the comments that I had from some of our parents, they would come and say, "Oh, Miss Brenda, thank you so much. We would have never come over here." And they were talking about Morgan's Wonderland. It's the picture with the two hands. That is very far from where our school district is. But we put them, we take them in buses to the field trips. And we went to Morgan's Wonderland, which is a wonderful park, very sensory activities, or have a lot of sensory activities, and a lot of activities, for younger children. They loved it. And so they were very happy. Another one is the Children's Museum. We've been to the rodeo, because we have rodeo here in the city. We've been through just the park. We've taken them to the park just to have lunch, and they've had a great time. We've taken them to the zoo. They always share a meal, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. We provide lunch, again, try to find partners to give us some money to provide lunch. And they're building community with each other. This is where their time to just talk and get to know more about each other and their children, and then just build lifelong friendships. Here's more pictures. So you can see one of our little students, he's brushing the hair of this animal at the petting zoo at the San Antonio Zoo. We're city kids, right? So that's something that some of our children never experience, so it's, again, sharing a meal on the little train. The next activity is a Dad and Children Retreat. I love this event. This is something very close to my heart. It's what we call Strong Father Child Saturday. This event, we go and we give the information to all the dads that we can in our school district. And it doesn't just have to be a dad, because I know a lot of our children are being raised maybe by a grandparent or an uncle, or so we just say, we invite the male role model in a child's life, and we tell them, come to this event, bring the child with you. And what we want them to know is how important they are to a child. And I always contract someone to come, and recently we've been using Mr. John Michael Hall. He is from the Center of Strong Families, and he is wonderful. He comes out, and as you can see here in the pictures, are kind of a little bit in an order. The first thing that happens really is they share a meal together. We have some continental breakfast, or breakfast, depending on how much money we have that year, and then together, the child and the adult. And so then we separate them. The children go into a room, by ages, and then John Michael stays with the dads. And as you can see here, he talks to the dads. He gives them information, research. He tells them how important they are and what research says, and how children do very well academically when there is a male role model in their life. As you can see, one of the questions on the board is, what kind of adult do you want your child to become? And they all, they speak with each other. He's already, of course, done icebreakers with them, so they're gotten to know each other a little bit better. So then they know it's a safe place for them to share. And so they express their feelings, right? And they ask questions of John, and then he helps them, or they help each other. Here they get into groups and they work on the questions, then they share out. In the meantime, the children are in the classrooms divided by ages, and they're working on fun activities, and again, building community, getting to know other children from other schools. And then they also write letters. They also write a letter and that lets their male role model know, their dad, their uncle, how important it was, how they felt being there with them that morning. And then they share the letter with their dad. And so here's some more pictures. After that's done, then he brings them together, and they learn some cool games that they can play together at home. They do some indoor games, they do some outdoor games. And then once they get all their energy out, he sits them down, and now we're going to read a book. Because of course, again, reading is so important, the love of books. And so he reads to them. He modeled reading to them, but he also tells them how different moms and dads read, and how that is awesome, and what the benefits of mom reading is, and what the benefits of dad reading to children is. He gives them all that information. And as you can see, they're just listening intently, right? Listening to everything he has to say. So I love this event. We were getting ready to do this event again, but then COVID hit and we had to stop. So we're looking forward to this coming school year, talking to John again and saying, okay, we're ready for the next Dad and Child event. Oh, here's some more pictures. As you can see, they're happy, right? Happy, happy. Oh, there is a link right here. It says John Michael Hall. If you click on that, it takes you to a TED Talk that Michael, that he did on, of course, the importance of dads in the child's life. And it's really, it has really good information. So you should take time to watch that. And maybe you can get him to come to your school district. He does a really good job and interacts with the dads and the children very, very well. Okay. So what happens when all these components come together and everything, all these activities? Well, this is what they, these are some of the things they learn. The families, our hope is that what we teach them, they go and they do at home, right, with their families. And they do. Here they showed us they sent us some pictures. Here's a family after we went to the San Antonio Food Bank to learn about gardens and, growing gardens and vegetables. We shared that information with our families, and then they went ahead and this family, they grew radishes. They grew radishes in their home, and then they sent us pictures. Here they are, painting. He's almost going to paint his whole little body, but we love it. We love it because he's learning. And the little shaving cream, we love, making shapes and letters with shaving cream, and he wanted to do that at home. These are some pictures of them, their work and things that the parents have up there at home so the children, can see it. Here at the bottom left-hand corner is one of our moms. We want our parents to be empowered to feel that they can also contribute, right, to the program and share what they've learned. So this parent, she said, I can conduct story time during the PACT activity. I can be the one doing the story time. And we're like, okay, yes, go for it. And she did a great job. And it was wonderful to see that. Something else that happens out of this is what I love is I call it from program participant to program staff. These are early childhood instructors who are providing the care and instruction to the children during the early childhood component area. But the great thing about it is that they used to be even start parents. They were in the program learning English or going through their GED and brought their little ones with them and learned, went through all the components. And this year we have about 7 or 8 working as early childhood instructors. So they're Northside ISD employees. It's just wonderful, wonderful to see this. Oh, in the bottom left-hand corner is a picture of one of our children that was in our program. And so he graduated from UTSA. And so Ms. Norma, his mom, wanted to, sent me the picture. And I said, okay, I'll include it in my slides because we're so proud of him. Here's another, this one I had to do just one slide for Laura. Her name's Laura, and she's been in our program. She started with our program in the GED program a long time ago, and she obtained her GED. There she is. With her teacher when she got her certificate, and then we used to have a GED graduation, and there she is receiving her certificate. And she's in the top picture, she's with her little girl that was in our program, and now at the bottom picture she's all grown up, but very proud. She sent us these pictures because she said, I learned a lot, and now I'm working in the program and loves it. So then COVID hit, right? COVID hit and our program went virtual. The first thing we did was right after spring break, we're like, oh my goodness, we can't go back to the campus. What are we going to do? So what I did was I had the staff, I said, okay, we're going to record all our components. So we have story time. You're going to record yourself reading a book, and then I'm going to post it on our social media pages. We do an activity, a hands-on activity. You're going to record yourself doing a hands-on activity. We're going to record it and post it on our social media pages. So here on the left-hand side is Yolanda reading a book, El Monstruo de Colores. And so she's reading the book. Well, then what happened was after that, I was like, I wonder if we asked the parents if they would record themselves reading, then that could be the video that I post on social media. And we really didn't know what was going to happen, but you know what? They did. They came. They recorded themselves and they sent us videos. And so those were then the videos that I posted on our social media pages. And it showed us that everything they had learned, everything we had tried to instill, it just came out of them. It's beautiful. So here is one of our parents reading, and I posted this on social media.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. We are Emily, Nicolas, and Sarah, and we want to share this book with you.
Yes.
The name is Brown Bear, What Do You See? By Bill Martin Jr. Pictures by Eric Carle. With permission from Henry Holt and Company, New York. Brown bear, what do you see? I see a red bear looking at me.
So that was an example of what happened during COVID. Now we provide our program virtually. So now the parents log on. We send them a Zoom link, and we have home visits virtually. We have parent and child together virtually. We have parenting education enrichment virtually. The English classes are virtually, and the parents are logging on using their phone or Chromebooks that we may provide from the district. But that's what's happening now. But when we first started, we would just record the videos. So I wanted to share that with you of some positive things that have happened, right? The silver lining of COVID. And here are our social media pages. If you'll go ahead and like us on Facebook, it's under NISD Title I Even Start Family Literacy Program. Or if you could please follow us on Twitter at NISD Even Start. There's a lot of, like I said, videos, information that I put on there, and a lot of our families reading or singing the songs or doing activities. And you're welcome to use them. You're welcome to use them. We have permission from the families to post them. And you can see all the great things happening in the family literacy program here in Northside. So now I'm going to transition on to some of the best practices in our district. The first one is this. It's the 2019 Statewide Parental Involvement Conference that Region 16 puts on. And I think the best practice is that we send families to this conference. It's the families learn so much, and they bring back the information and they share it with each other. So I think that is a great thing. Our principals really stepped up. Here are some pictures of them. At the top left-hand corner is Mr. Sumter, a principal from John Jay High School, with his families that he took. Here's some more pictures. At the on the right-hand top corner is one of our principals, and she posted this, and I went ahead and borrowed it. And she puts, first time, driving the van, the NISD van, but she did it. They really stepped up. And then in the middle, you'll see we even won the award from Region 16, the highest attendance award. And so that is something we're really proud of. On the bottom right-hand corner is a picture of my staff. And I call this a best practice because I think it's very important to send staff also to conferences to learn all the wonderful, because research changes all the time, right? And so we have to stay abreast of it. And so so I send my staff to them, and sometimes the money's just not quite there, and maybe just the coordinator or the director will go, but I really ask and say, if anything, you could please send staff, right? Find the money to send staff to conferences. So that's a best practice. Another best practice is we have our own, the NISD Family Engagement Program puts on a family engagement conference here in our school district, again at Northside Activity Center. And you can see the pictures, wonderful activities. There you can see the side of John Quinones. He's the keynote speaker. He's from the show, What Would You Do? And so he was the keynote speaker. At the bottom, underneath him is Dr. Woods, our superintendent, speaking to all the families. I love the middle picture. That is a picture of the planning committee and its parents. with the family engagement staff. They plan, what do they want at this conference? Okay, what topics, what presenters, how do they want it to be run? So the families have a lot of input into this conference. It's wonderful. Our participation, even Start staff, is that at the conference, we provide the care and instruction to the children, because of course we take care of the children and work with them while they're, the adults are in the workshops. Okay, so we have really great partnerships here in the district. Next wonderful event is our Saul Ross Middle School Father-Daughter Dance. And it's a great event. This is under the direction of Irene Alvarez. She's the coordinator for family engagement there at the middle school. And she puts on this wonderful father-daughter dance. And again, building those relationships between the dads and the children, the daughters, and they get all dressed up and they share a meal, and they're building relationships again with each other, with other dads, and sharing their experiences, right? So I did have a little video, but it's not quite working right now. So we'll go on to the next slide. This, another event, Holmes High School Feeder School Block Walk. And so what it is that the event takes place at Holmes High School. That's one of our Title I schools. And they bring the feeder school staffs, okay? So all the elementary school staff, all the middle school staff that feed into Holmes, they come to Holmes High School in the morning. This is before school starts, right? And they have a big pep rally. They have our school, as you can see there, there's our Superintendent Dr. Woods with the principals from all the schools. They have a pep rally. He addresses the audience, all the teachers, all the staff. They have a pep rally. As you can see, there are the Holmes cheerleaders, the band, and they get all pumped up. And then after that, they disperse into the community. They go visit all the homes of their students, of their families. Who are they going to see this year? Who are they going to serve? They go and they visit. And here, look, you have this, Saul Ross does this really cool frame that parents take a picture. Here they are taking a picture by the door, all excited, like, oh my goodness, the children are like, my principal's here, my liaison's here, my teacher's here, and so they get to, it's a wonderful start to the year. And again, building that community, okay? Another, something else that we have in our school district, again, under the direction of Ms. Yolanda Chapman, Threads. This is under family engagement, and what it is, I'm gonna show you the video so you can just hear for yourself what this is all about.
There's a new program in Northside hoping to make sure every student looks good and feels good when they head back to school this fall. It's called Northside Threads, for families, by families, and it's a new initiative in our family engagement program. What they've created is a clothes closet where Northside families can donate items to help other families in the district.
This is where the families are going to get to come in and shop and pick what they need.
Northside employees and volunteers are busy getting the Northside Threads clothes closet ready for business.
We have got really good donations that have come in here. We have good quality clothes.
They've spent the past several weeks sorting, washing, folding, and putting all of these clothes on display so families in the Northside district can begin shopping in late August. We're going to make sure that they don't feel embarrassed in any way, but that they're going to feel comfortable to come here and be able to get clothes for their children to go to school. Because we want the kids to feel good going to school.
The clothes closet is for every campus to use. So no matter where you are or what your situation might be, if you have a need for clothes, we're the place to go to.
Everything in the closet is donated by Northside families for Northside families. Each child who comes in will be able to pick out 5 tops and 5 bottoms. The program also hopes to give each child new underwear and socks when they visit. And while this looks like plenty of clothes, looks can be deceiving. We are a very large district. And, I kind of use the example, if we have an 8-year-old boy come in that wears size 10 jeans, and 2 other families come in with an 8-year-old boy that wears size 10 jeans in a week. So that's, 15 pair of jeans just in a week for that one size. So those are going to go very quickly, which means Northside Threads needs more donations. They are in special need of boys' pants and jeans, and they always need new underwear and socks.
I really do believe that when you feel good and you feel confident and ready, you're ready to learn. And I want every single child and every single family in Northside to feel ready to learn. I want them to know that they're valuable and that we're investing in them so they can invest in themselves and continue learning and going to school and having their education.
Well, that is Northside Threads. And we also, that was back in 2018, the video, okay, when we started the program. And we also collect donations, the staff, we donate. At the top right-hand corner is my staff and I. We're at convocation. We have a big pep rally at the beginning of the year for all staff. And one of the things that we do is we are required, not required, they ask for us to donate, and we bring like socks and underwear, and that's a big donation drive for Northside Threads. Another activity is we had a first book AFT book distribution. AFT is American Federation of Teachers, and we partnered together. We've done this several times. And as you can see there, 40,000 free books were distributed on a Saturday to Title I schools, to children and families. First, we divided the books, right? And it was all the way through high school, pre-K through high school. And then the families came on a Saturday and they chose books. And it wasn't just one book per child. No, it was several books per child. And they were able to choose whatever title they wanted. So it was great. Again, building those home libraries. There we are at the bottom right-hand corner with our table, so we could give information to the families about our Even Start Family Literacy program. We were there as well as other programs and organizations with tables. And so the families not only left with books, but they also left with important information resources that would help their family. John Jay Science Engineering Academy puts on this wonderful STEM Fest for the community. The students put it on as well as volunteers, a lot of them being parents. Again, building that community and learning at the same time. You can see the pictures, a wonderful event with lots and lots of partners. Brendan High School Literacy Night. They invite the entire community to come out. This started with by the librarian of the high school. He thought of this and he said, I'm going to do this literacy night. And then the students, they put on different activities. As you can see, there's a puppet show and the children get to experience cool technology. And again, they leave with free books. He finds partners, and we have partners. There's a UTSA Roadrunner, one of our universities here, the mascot, and he comes and pumps up the kids, and all the children come all the way through pre-K through high school. Harlan students construct 50 desks for at-home learners. This is something that happened right now during COVID. Our woodshop kids at Harlan High School, they built 50 desks, and then they donated them free to families, to students in need of learning from home. So they not only were able to work on their skills, right, on their hands-on, but they were able to also learn about service learning, giving back to the community. John Jay High School National Night Out. This is an event that John Jay puts on. There's our superintendent addressing the group, our school board, there he is with his 2 children. Then the students, all the organizations come out, they have performances by the student. As you can see, the entire community comes out, building those relationships. And for me, here's some more pictures. The robotics club comes out. But for me, this also helps families not see a school as such a scary place to go to, because sometimes our high schools are so huge they kind of look like little mini college campuses, and they're a little bit, scary to just go in and walk those long, big buildings and halls. But events like this help families, the community know that you're welcomed here. You're welcomed on our campus. Holmes High School, the students, again, working on those hands-on skills and putting to practice everything they've learned during the year. They went ahead and worked on this vehicle, this minivan, used their skills to work on this minivan, and then they went ahead and teamed up with one of the organizations here, Any Baby Can, and they donated the vehicle to a very deserving family. Esparza Elementary, of course, we have parent cafecitos, parent coffees. This one is something that they have, and they invite the feeder schools that the children, Esparza children, are going to go to. So here they invited the two middle school feeder schools, which was Saul Ross and Anson Jones, to come be a part of this cafecito. So the families in attendance were able to meet the principal, the admin, the staff of the school. So the parents now it's not, again, such a scary place, because they're going from 5th grade to middle school, and it can seem a little bit, daunting, a little bit scary. But once you have an event like this, you get to meet that staff, and then you're like, oh, I know the principal now. Oh, they want, they do care. They are welcoming. They do want me to succeed and have a good experience at the next level. So a great event to have. The next slides are what I call engaged parents. Our families are engaged. I think that they try very hard. They have so much on their plate, work, but there's different events that I think do engage parents. It might look a little bit different than just going to a workshop, but to me, I still think they're engaged because they're building those relationships with the schools and the children. Here's an example of them coming to a choir concert, to a band concert. They're outside on the patio watching at the high school, watching the band perform. Again, interacting with that staff, that school staff. So they're building those relationships so it doesn't seem such a scary place to go and be a part of. Here at the bottom right-hand corner, in our schools, all our dance teams every year, they work on a routine with their dads. And then at one of the football games, they perform with their dads. So again, a wonderful involvement, engagement of the families. Saul Ross Middle School Robotics. We have robotics is big in our school district, but to me, this also brings the community into the school. Here they are celebrating, whether they lose or or they win, they're still there for each other, and the parents are there, the family, they bring everybody, the aunt, the grandma, everybody comes, and they celebrate. They look at all the robotics, and again, building relationships. Athletics, this is another way that families are engaged, and they do it for their children. Everything, for example, here, as you can see, they're decorated the halls, they decorated the lockers. This takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time from families because they have to go in the evening or after school and, buy all these decorations. And everything they do is for their children, selling the spirit items. That takes time, having to sell the shirts, but all the money again goes back to the students. Selling concessions, that again takes a lot of time, but the parents do it with love. And as you can see there, it says, "Love your parents, we believe." So the children feel supported. They feel supported that yes, I can do it. I may win the game today, I may not, but they still believe in me, and I'm still supported by my family and the community. My older child, he was in sports and he received an athletic scholarship. He didn't do athletics in college, but that scholarship really helped us as a family, and all that money was raised by families. John Jay Mariachi Band. We have a lot of mariachis groups in our school district, middle school and high school, but families being engaged in this. As you can see there, the pictures, they're holding up their goodie bags put together by parents to wish them luck on their competition or their performance. They're the parents in the bus going with them, to the competition or the performance. And, senior night at the football game for the seniors here for band, again, supporting our children. This bottom right-hand picture is just them, standing around in a hallway. And you might say, well, why did you put that picture? Well, to me, I love that picture because that's something that us as families, we do so much of, is wait in the hall, right? We wait for the competition to start, or we wait for their turn to dress into their theater costume, or their UIL, help them to practice their UIL speech, or the academic decathlon, or whatever it may be. But families, we're there, we're engaged, we want to support them. If we win, we're going to be there to celebrate. But if we lose, we're going to be there to just help them pick them up and say, next time, you've got this, okay? Magnet school recruitment fairs, as I showed you the video of our magnet schools. Well, our magnet schools asked families if they could please come to these magnet school fairs, but not just, attend, but also be a part of the recruiting process. So when I went to go look at a magnet school for my youngest, it was parents telling me their experience. It was, them saying, yes, you should come, you should put your child in this school because of these reasons. This is what we've experienced. And they told us the good and the bad as well. We were able to ask all questions, and the parents were the ones helping with the recruitment. So again, the parents feel engaged and part of the school enough that they're saying, yes, we'll help you recruit. These are some other groups that families are part of, that parents are engaged in, decision-making committees and groups. And these are groups that families have, they make decisions. They're saying, yes, we should do this. No, we shouldn't. We have a school health advisory council. This is, we call SHAC. Whenever we've had several bonds in our school district, and families, parents are always a part of it, because we want them to tell us what we should do with our money if the bond, passes. Pre-kinder, that this just happened just last week. We've had the pre-kinder instructional materials committee, because we in Texas are adopting a new curriculum, right, in our school district. And so something I love to brag is that one of our Even Start families was on the committee. And so she would go to these meetings. It was done virtually, but she would go to these committees, to these meetings, and they were presenting all the pre-K curriculums, and then they voted, and now we have a curriculum. But these are decision-making committees, the District Title I Advisory Council, the School Advisory Council. All these are committees that families have a say, and they have a vote, and their voice is heard. Another organization that's very good is Texas Grandparents Raising Grandchildren. We have a lot of grandparents, in Texas and the United States, that are raising their children. This is an organization, if you go to texgrg.com, this is a group of grandparents that have formed, and they provide a lot of resources, a lot of information for grandparents to help them in them raising these children. And they give testimony, and they say, I didn't know I was gonna, I thought I was done raising my kids. And then all of a sudden now I'm raising my grandkids, and I need help, because it's not the same. It's not the same as when I raised my kids. All the information's new, the schools have changed, rules have changed, information, activities, what the kids are doing now has changed. And so they need help. And so this organization is wonderful. We partner with them in the school district, and they use 2 of our elementary schools, and they have their meetings. Of course, right now it's virtual because of COVID, but when it's not COVID, they meet at the campuses, and they meet at different places in the city. But 2 of our campuses, Esparza and I believe Broccoli also, they have meetings. They give them space so they can come and meet. Another organization that we have on our campus, it's our foundation, Northside Education Foundation. What I love about this foundation, my favorite part about it, they do a lot. They do a lot of different things, but my favorite part is that they raise money to provide grants to teachers and staff of Northside ISD. So if you have an idea, or you have an activity or something that you want to do with a family, for family engagement, for academics with the children, with high school, you might have an activity you want to do with high schoolers, middle schoolers, you can apply for a grant, and they're different amounts. And then they, if you're awarded, they come around, Apple Eddie comes around, as you can see the little apples, the little mascots, they come around and they give you your apple. And here's a proud teacher holding his apple. that he was awarded. I love NEF, and I think having a foundation in a school district is good, is a good idea, because it can provide a lot of things, resources that you normally wouldn't be able to provide, because a foundation can do a little bit more than a school district. We wrote a grant, one of the dad and kids retreat that we had one year. We wrote a grant. I wrote it with the coordinator of the school age parenting program, Lisa Delgado, and we wrote a team grant. That was for $10,000, but we were able to do the dad and kids event 4 times in 1 year. So we did 2 Saturday events and 2 during the week events. The 2 during the week events, we invited the whole family to come, and that was in the evening. So that grant really helped us, and it was all through the foundation. During COVID, of course, we've upped our food bank distributions. We always provide, food during the year, but when COVID hit, we had to go strong and provide a lot more, because there was a lot, the need really increased. So here's a picture of the Northside Education, the big food drives, because we have some what we call mega food drives at our stadiums, and those are once a month. And you can see there our superintendent, Dr. Woods, and dividing some food up, our school board member, Dr. Harrell, even our student groups. Here's Taft High School Theater, the students volunteer, and they volunteer to provide, to hand out the food, to distribute the food. Then the bottom pictures are pictures of our weekly food distributions that we have our different campuses around the school district. And as you can see, the need is high. The families line up, and we divide the food, and then we hand out the food to the families. Now, if they cannot pick up the food, we deliver the food to their home. Okay, so we do, but this need is still great today. We still have them. We just had one yesterday, Thursday, and we continue every Thursday to have food distributions. School supply backpack. We had a big drive. Although our counselors always have school supplies ready and on the campus year round, this was one that we did where it was a big, school supply backpack distribution, so they could have supplies to work on at home during COVID. And here is a video that explains a little bit more about that.
Thanks to the generosity of the Northside community members and business partners, 2,500 students in Northside ISD will be getting a new backpack filled with school supplies.
So what you see now is departments who are actually taking a parent request and shopping for that student.
We've got some more here of the whole elementary.
Many departments have come together to ensure that families and students will be set up for success as they begin the new school year.
It was a total interdepartment initiative, and so partnerships helped get the word out and get donor money. Transportation sent drivers to help to, stuff the backpacks. The athletics department made signs and were there to accept the donations and then bring the donations to the sports gym.
The whole child department works year-round to ensure that students will have the supplies they need. They are always accepting donations.
People think that back to school is just the beginning of the school year when kids need supplies, but what we find in January, kids need to replenish those supplies because they run out.
Thanks for joining us.
So that's just a little video of our big school supply drive that we had. And truly, it was a lot of departments getting together to carry this out. And these pictures are what I like to say, COVID did not stop us. We kept celebrating our families, our children. We kept visiting our kids in a safe manner, but we continued because it was important to have those relationships with our children and our families. I mean, keeping our kids engaged and our families engaged. Hobby School, they held their drive-through honor roll recognition, and they just, safe distance, but they still had their recognition. So Ross, you go and you visit the homes and you drop off their signs that they got on the honor roll or good attendance or whatever it may be, pillar of the week. Holmes High School, of course, they always have an event to welcome the 8th graders coming, right, to transition them over. Well, we couldn't do it in the auditorium, so what do? Let's have a parade and welcome them, right? Because we want them to still feel that we're here for them. We're here for you. We know that this is a hard time, but we still believe and we want you to have a good experience going on to the next level. Lots of virtual workshops. Here's Homeroom Center, one of our centers, you know, virtual workshops with our partners and our families, and they've done such a great job, the parents, of learning how to, some of them never logged on to a computer, but with the help of staff working together, they're logging on. Celebrating our 5th graders, 8th graders, and seniors. A lot of our end of the year events were stopped, right? But we said, no, let's have the parades. You know, the seniors came in, just the family by themselves to accept their diploma. Parades, even our transportation department got into it. They went ahead and drove their buses in the shape of 2020 Heart U. Here's Mr. Ortega, top right-hand corner, with the parents driving in. He's a middle school principal, welcoming the 5th graders into his school and handing them signs that they're going to put in their house that says a future rebel lives here. Okay, again, welcoming them, building those relationships with those students that are coming, those families that are coming to them. So very, very important. So again, I'll end the way I began. In this complex world, it takes more than a good school to educate children. It takes more than a good home. It takes these 2 educational institutions working together. And again, I'll repeat, supporting each other. It is so important. And so that's my presentation. Here is, thank you so much for having me and listening today. If you have any questions, there's my email, my phone number. Here's a picture of my staff with our superintendent at one of the convocations, Rachel, Yolanda, Adriana, Lucy, Griselda, and myself, and we're here to serve you in any way we can. Our Twitter handle is @NISD Even Start, and follow us, like us on Facebook. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you, Matthew.